Welcome once again to your weekly update from the City of New Hope. Time to check in with the mayor to find out what's new in the city and what's coming up. Welcome, Mayor Hemken. How are you today?
I'm just fine. It's beautiful outside, and I'm hoping no snow this week.
Let's hope not. A little chillier. We'll talk a little bit about the golf course and some of the activities as we head into winter here in just a little bit. Let's start, though, with community development, scattered site housing. We've got a few properties to touch on. First is 3611 Louisiana. Some work continues there. Where are they now?
Well, they're backfilling the area. They hauled off a bunch of dirt, and now they'll start putting up the walls probably next couple of weeks. They have what they're telling me is in about 2 weeks they'll start actually doing some construction of the house.
Another property over on the corner of 42nd and Boone, actually two properties there, and we've got a number set on one of those properties. What is it looking like?
Well, the south property is what they're calling it. They're doing the painting on the inside. They're just about done with that. It went on to MLS this week for $468. And I don't know when they're going to start the second one. I think they want to make sure they get the first one done and sold before they start on the second one.
Another property and scattered site to talk about is 4965 Winnetka. We're keeping you up to date on the activities there, and it looks like some of the demolition cleanup continues on at this time.
Well, that was the burn that they did, and they had to leave all that until it was totally cooled down. And now the demolition team will go in, and they have to test the soil and the stuff that's there to see where they can dump it. Excuse me. After that's all done, then when they get the test back, then what they'll do is they'll start tearing down the rest of that building. They'll take out the driveway. They're putting in the water and sewer lines now. And they're going to take a couple trees down in the back of the lot. So it'll be just about cleared off, I would guess, in the next couple of weeks. The demolition contractor has till the end of November to get that all cleaned up.
Very good. Speaking of November, 1st of November, there's a special meeting of the Business Networking Group. We've been previewing this. Again, where's it going to be and what are the two topics?
2 o'clock on the 1st of November at Crystal City Hall. And of course, it's being sponsored by Opus Music. So she will talk a little bit about Opus Music and the music lessons. And the other thing that's happening is somebody from the Met Council is coming to talk about the Blue Line extension, the light rail. So if you're interested in that, that's the place to be, 2 o'clock on the 1st of November.
Very good. More business news to talk about. There's some new businesses in the city. Run us through some of the new businesses that people can stop by and check out.
Well, it's always fun to get new ones.
Yeah.
So the old Guild Brothers Funeral Chapel is being used by the Somali Community Resettlement Services. I don't know if they bought the building or if the building has been sold. I just know that the Somali Resettlement Services will be in that building at least for a while, in case you're interested in that. There's a place called Lions Welding Training at 4000 Winnetka. I believe they're open. They're a trade school for welders. So those are just a couple fun things to new businesses. The work being done at the old Shell station seems to be moving right along. Lots of people coming and going. They're doing some internal stuff to there. They're telling me that that should be open before the end of the year. And there's another new business called Weld, W-E-L-D and Sons. It's actually a plumbing company, and that's located at 8711 Bass Lake Road, and they're open for business.
Very good. Let's go to the police department. A lot of activity here with the chief out and about at various meetings. Where are some of the places he's been spotted and been learning more about the city of New Hope?
Well, you know, the police department's busy just doing police department stuff. And between the chief and Officer Callio, they try to do as much community engagement as they can. So the police chief has been at the Violent Offenders Task Force meetings. He's also been meeting with District 21 school board members. Officer Callio just recently had the Trick or Trunk event in the rain. So in my witch's costume, 2 hours in the rain passing out candy.
You survived.
I survived. Finally went inside a little drowned rat, and they had colors of the world. That's where the kindergartners took the color crayons that the Human Rights Commission supplied, and they drew pictures of themselves in the various colors of their skin. They were so cute. Though they were plastered all over the walls at City Hall. A lot of people coming to see the pictures, and they'd come out the other door and come and get their candy. So
all right,
it
as
was,
you see from the
it was pretty
pictures,
fun.
yeah, a great night had by all. And one other note from the police department, the police academy has some graduates to celebrate.
They just finished up, 32 people graduated. I got so many nice comments from people saying, I didn't know the police department did that. And so what they do is they take them through all of the stuff that the police department does, and they take them out to some of the training facilities. And I think it's just a real eye opener to people to realize what it's like to be in the police force.
Let's hop ahead to Public Works and our update this week of what's happening in New Hope. A couple things as they get ready for the change of season. One that's maybe a little more unseen with some of the grates and drains, and others with snow plows already. Mayor, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, when the leaves fall in the street, they have to go out and they clean out all those drains when they can. We're also going to be doing a street sweeping, but that'll come just a little bit later. So they've got to get that cleaned out. And then the ponds have drainage catch basins, and they clean that out. So they've been busy. Not a really fun job.
Right.
They've been busy trying to do that. I do want to tell people though, do not rake your leaves into the street. That's just not, first of all, it's against the ordinance, but it makes it very difficult. All that just goes into the drains and just clogs them all up. So please don't do that. The other thing, the snow plows have been driving the snowplow routes to see if there's any tree branches hanging over the street. And what they're doing is, if there is, they're allowed to trim those back to the street level. Well, they're actually trimming back a little bit further, usually about 15 feet further, because that's what the easement is. So they want to get ready so when the snow plows come through and the trees are covered with snow, it isn't going to impede the snow plowing of the street. So they're getting ready. And of course, the mechanics are there making sure the snow plows are in good shape and running, and we're ready. We just don't want the snow to come.
No, they can take their time. Let's hold off a little bit on that. Now let's head to the streets and talk about some of the projects that are wrapping up as we speak. The first is the big infrastructure project around Sonneson, and it looks like that is about done.
It is. So this is the one that's east of Sonneson and north of 33rd. It's the 2023 infrastructure project. And when the whole project is done and the streets are paved, they have what's called a punch list. Those are all the little things that just got missed, or they just need a little tweaking. So that's what they're doing now. They're working on that punch list. When that's done, they will officially call it done, and then that's when we pay the contractor for that.
Let's move over to 42nd Avenue and all the work that's happening there. And we're at October 30th, and you're saying that the time is maybe one day left? At least that's what we're hearing.
They've been telling me the end of October. I'm not sure. They're kind of running out of time if I'm concerned here. So 42nd, a lot of work has been done on 42nd around the Boone Avenue, where they're putting up new stop signs, and they're putting up decorative lighting. The work from Winnetka to Gettysburg, I think it is, they're putting up the decorative poles there. Just a lot of work being done, and it should all just be done. Now, they have opened the intersection at Gettysburg, north and south. It's been really difficult for people to get into that area. They have to come in through the north side. So that's open. Let's hope we've got another day.
All right. How about the bridge? Let's move over to 169. Talk about the bridge, if you would, and also about the noise walls.
Well, they tell me the bridge will be open. However, I've seen big trucks up there with flashing lights, so I don't know if they'll open before it's entirely completed, but they keep telling me whenever I chat with them that yes, it will be open on the end of the month. So we'll see. It might not be totally complete, but maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to drive over it.
And a lot of the heavy work up at the noise walls closer up towards Bass Lake Road, it looks like some of that concrete work is being finished up.
Well, between 62nd and Bass Lake Road, that's New Hope. They're going a little further than that too. But all of the pilings are in, and now they're starting to put up the boards. So another few weeks, you should be able to get onto 169 off of Bass Lake Road if you're going north. You can't today. I don't have a date when they think that'll be open. It's probably going to be another few weeks for that though.
Let's move to Park and Rec, and as you might guess, a lot of activity here as they change the seasons. And the first sign of the new season is the new brochure, I think, is about ready to come out. What will we see in that brochure?
Well, So they're calling it the winter spring. It hasn't even snowed yet, but I do realize it takes a long time to get these brochures ready, and it's at the printer. So when that comes back, then we should be seeing that at our houses probably in the next week or so. They tell me the cover is just adorable. So look for that. Be sure you save that. There's so much stuff in there, not just for little kids, but for big kids, for adults, teenagers. There's just all the stuff that's going on in Park and Rec is in that brochure. So save that thing. If you throw it away, you can always get another one at City Hall, but just it'd really be nice if we just kept the one you got.
Sounds good. Sign of the season's changing as well, as some of the crews are out for Park and Rec, checking out some of the courts, I understand, and also other crews checking out the trees one last time before snow.
So we have a crew that goes around and looks at all the sports courts. Those would be the tennis courts, the pickleball courts, and the basketball courts, to see what maintenance needs to be done on those. I doubt that they'll do much maintenance yet this year, but that all takes time and they have to hire crews to do that. And so they go check that all out in the fall, and then they'll have that list ready for the spring. And the other thing is the emerald ash borer, the trees that have been sprayed in orange. They're taking those down. They're also telling the residents when a tree will be taken down. Residents have been able to pick a tree out. I don't know that they're going to get too many more planted yet this year.
Right.
If not, they'll do it in the spring. If your tree is dead and it's on the boulevard and it has not been sprayed orange, you need to call the forester and let them know, because they really want to get those down as quick as they can, but it takes a long time and it's expensive.
You can find the forester information on the city's website. You see it there, newhopemn.gov. You can also find information there about the golf course, and we see the picture behind the mayor there. Colors have changed just a little bit since that picture was taken, but they are still out there trying to golf. Is that right?
That is right. This weekend was a little tough. They put sand on the greens, and then I can't even pronounce the word, but basically they punch holes in the sand, in the greens, to let the sand go down in the holes. But they tell me the golf course is open. You should call to get a tee time just in case something's going on. When it will close, they don't know, but what happens is the green freezes and they won't let anybody on the greens when they're frozen.
Right.
But in this kind of temperature, the greens could be frozen at 6 a.m, but be open by 10 that afternoon or that morning. So call first before you come out. They'll be open. I suggest you don't use an orange or a yellow ball. Probably hard to find. Get those white balls out there to use. But I'm going to be playing it into November if I can.
All right, good for you. We hope so. Let's move over to the ice arena. That's where a lot of activity is going on. Read the list for us. What's happening there?
Well, the elite teams were playing last Sunday, so they've been pretty busy playing in tournaments. That's just about done. The men's adult league has started their league today, and they'll be playing. And the girls' high school, they're doing their regular practices. The boys' captain practices still is going on. And then the youth hockey, of course, they're having scrimmages and practices for those youthful kids. One other thing I want to mention is November 4th is on for Play Hockey for Free. It's 5:15 to 6:15 on the 4th of November at the hockey rink. You have to make a reservation though. But basically you show up and they give the kids skates to wear, pads, hockey sticks, and your child can see if they want to play hockey.
Very good.
This is the last one of the season. It'll be the 4th of November.
Yeah, get out and give that a try. And final update from Park and Rec. You might not think we talk about the Aquatic Park anymore, but this may be the last time, Mayor. What do they have to do kind of for the final shutdown of the season?
Well, they have to winterize all of the water pipes, of course, and then they blow out the water in the bathhouse. That'd be the toilets and the sinks and that stuff. After that's all done, they pretty much will just cover the pool, just do all the things. They have those little things they have to finish up, but pretty much the pool is done till spring.
Let's hop over to Human Resources. One quick update here, and I'm going to read it to get this right. They're studying the Minnesota state statute entitled Employee Sick and Safe Time, also known as ESST. Tell us a little bit more of when this goes into effect and what this might mean for the city.
Well, that'll go into effect the 1st of January of 2024. I don't really know what that all means. That's why Human Rights or Human Resources is looking at that. On the 20th of November, they will present to us at the council. I'm guessing it's probably gonna mean some changes in time off.
Right.
Maybe some changes in paid for that time off or not paid. We're just not sure.
Mhm.
So we'll get an update on what that actually means and the effect that'll have on the budget.
All right, more to come on that. Final note we want to pass along is a group you may have heard about and now is going to be reinvigorated. It's Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. Again, give us a little history lesson on this group and what's going on right now.
This is a community-based group that wants to help veterans and their families. A lot of times there's things that need to be done, but the VA doesn't do them. Just a good example of that, a guy had been evicted from his apartment. He needed to move. He had no way to move at all. And so he called Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. We sent in a crew, packed up his stuff, put it in a trailer, moved him for him. Those are the kinds of things Beyond the Yellow Ribbon does. Now, this was started in 2014, and it's called the Quad Cities Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. Mm-hmm. And that would be Robbinsdale, Crystal, New Hope, and Golden Valley. We felt that with the 4 cities together, we had a better chance of actually helping more people that way. If you're in need of some sort of help, and it doesn't always have to be cash, by the way. Sometimes it's just some services that you might need. There's a website you can go to. There's a phone number you can call. If it's not you, if you're like the family and your mate is overseas or gone and you need some help, anything from rides to babysitting services, all kinds of things we can help you with. You know, it's worth the call. Mm-hmm. And if you don't call, maybe you can have a neighbor call and say, you should probably check on this family next door to me. So we're here to help, but we need to know that you're there and give us a phone call so we can.
Great. There you see that number once again, 763-290-0512. And Mayor, I would guess there's still a need for volunteers too. So if people are interested in being a part of this group and helping out, should they call that same number?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We can always use volunteers, and volunteers to do just about anything from helping your child with their math after school to shoveling a sidewalk to cleaning out a garage, just anything that is needed that isn't covered under the VA services.
All right. Another great opportunity for people in the city of New Hope and surrounding communities. Speaking of opportunities, a lot coming up in the city. We're going to leave you with a calendar of some upcoming events here in just a second. But Mayor, thanks so once again for your time. We'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you then.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.